Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to our You'll Never Walk Alone WhatsApp group and YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. We got over 10,000 views on our last video, so thanks for everyone for watching. But hit the subscribe button so you can enjoy more videos. Sorry about this being late. I had a work commitment and couldn't do one yesterday. But the Liverpool versus Newcastle, St James's Park, our third game of the new Premier League season. Difficult game, really hard game to go to away to Newcastle. They're obviously with the Saudi money, they've obviously got themselves a lot of good players, spent a lot of money, and they're a decent outfit. They obviously made top four last season, so they're in the Champions League. We're not. So yeah, I also found that a lot of people didn't really give us a chance to pick up anything from the game. I think they all thought we'd lose. None of the pundits and the usual bullshit artists that write dribble for newspapers. But at the start of the game, we started poorly. We really did. After the first 20 odd minutes, Trent miscontrolled a fairly basic pass, and Gordon flew in behind him, took the ball off him, ran into on the goal, and scored a pretty good goal, well taken goal if I'm being fair. 1-0 down after 20 odd minutes. You think, okay, hopefully we can get back into this, and then more disaster strikes. If we haven't made the task difficult enough, Virgil van Dijk, who is a very experienced player, should know better, went straight through the player, got the ball to be fair, but you can't make tackles anymore like that. Gets sent off, and we're down to 10 men for the second week running. So 10 men, 1-0 down, crowd like a coliseum, screaming and begging for more, and we looked finished. If I'm being real. So we hang on for, another 30 minutes after that, and some good defending, 10 men behind the ball, and we held on and we kept in the game. It was definitely a sign of grit, determination, and heart. Big shout out to McAllister and Slobodsly, who I thought were phenomenal in midfield. And to be fair, everybody ran their ass off. And then something that didn't happen at all last year. Jurgen Klopp takes a risk, which I encourage more of, because as far as a tactician, he's very underrated. Considering, I think he's the second best manager in the world after Pep. He throws on Darren Núñez and Diego Jota, and all of a sudden, we look like the only team that are going to score. So a couple of minutes after Núñez came on, I think Núñez came on the 79th minute or something, 15 minutes he was on. And a couple of minutes after him coming on, he runs onto a through ball and absolutely buries it. And 3 minutes into extra time or injury time, he buries it again. Another through ball from Salah. And all of a sudden we're 2-1, game's over, Newcastle are shell-shocked, and so is most of the crowd. It was a fantastic bit of man management by Jurgen Klopp. It was that sort of game defines seasons, and gives players huge confidence that they're never beaten. I think Jurgen came out at the end of the game and said it was better than Barcelona. I don't know about that, but I think we've had better comebacks than that. We've been further behind than that, and we're starting to get used to playing with 10 men because we seem to get someone sent off every week. But look, it was a phenomenal, gritty, held-on performance by a team that is really weak in squad depth. Very hard to play with 10 men. Newcastle blew it. And I think the game was decided between two managers, one who's world class and the other one who's a pretender. Um, I've no problem with Eddie Howe, but 10 men, 1-0 up, and you lose the game at home. It's pretty much a disaster. Um, so yeah, phenomenal result. Great by Darwin Núñez to pull us into 3 points. We have a decent start now, 7 out of 9. But we missed Virgil for a game, maybe more because he swore a lot at the referees and stuff, which isn't fantastic. Um, like carrying on is never going to get that card rescinded. I've never seen when a card was issued and you start swearing and shouting at them that it ever gets taken back. So you need to lead as a captain and just walk off, regardless of how you feel. There's a professionalism that you need to show as captain of Liverpool, and you let yourself down. And if you get more games, you could really hurt the team because you're important to it. As far as the transfer window goes, I'm very like Slabasai and McAllister and Endo, who had an average game. Um, I thought it was good business, but we've lost 8 and replaced it with 3. And now we're hearing Mo Salah's unsettled. There's talk of him wanting to him going to Saudi Arabia. That doesn't look like it's happening. But I think it's only not happening because of where we're at the window. I think if we got 150 million for him maybe a month ago, things would be different. And now I read today in the news is that Joe Gomez is being thing like, we look like a club that just sells our players. We're a selling club now all of a sudden. So, I don't know. I think John Henry needs to get the checkbook out, get us two more midfielders, or at least one, and a central defender. We needed these before we got everybody else in, and we still need them now. I think we're going to struggle throughout the season if we don't get some more strength and depth. I think we are waiting for Andre for January, but I could be wrong. From Fluminense in Brazil. But again, we shouldn't be waiting on players. We should either go and get them, sign them now, and take them in January, or like we did with Keita, or we should move on and get somebody else that can come in now. All the teams have strengthened way more than we have. So we're threadbare with a generational manager. So as I always say, FSG out. I've no time for them. They're bullshit artists, they're liars. This is meant to be the summer rebuild. It's barely been a whimper. So that's my opinion on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll do a player ratings next. Okay, player ratings time. For Liverpool versus Newcastle at St James's Park in the third league game of the new season. So we start off in goal. Ali 9. I thought he was exceptional. Ali's been our best player. Like, he was probably our best player last year. He's definitely, consistently our best player probably this year, which goes to show how poor we are at the minute. When your goalkeeper is your best player every season, it usually means you're under a lot of pressure, which we constantly are, because our midfield was non-existent last year, and this season, even though we've started well, he had to be at his very best, or else we would have got thumped. Down to 10 men 2 weeks in a row. He needs to be exceptional, and he has been, to be fair. So he's getting a 9. Trent 6. I love Trent. I think going forward, he's one of the best players in the league. I think he's got a right foot and a cross on him that very few possess. I think he sees things that not many people see, but I think defensively he's a mistake waiting to happen. Malap 7, thought he was pretty good considering he hasn't played since February. He did really well, held it out. Virgil 4. As I said in the review, I didn't think he did himself any justice by the carry on of him, and it was a silly tackle to make. he has the pace and the skill set to have sorted that out without having to do what he did. Was it a sending off? Probably not, in my opinion, but my opinion doesn't matter. He was sent off, and you just got to roll with the punches on that one. Robbo 6, I thought he did, he had an okay game. Endo 6, I thought he did some things pretty good, but he's not up to the pace of the Premier League yet. You got to move. You got to have your brain has to move faster, he's going to take some time to bed in. I think. Sly 8. He could have been a 9 even. I thought he was outstanding again. I think he's got some player we've got there. Just goes to show when you spend 60, 70 million on a midfielder, you really get what you pay for. McAllister 7. I thought he was really good as well. He tried his best. It's very hard on a midfield when you're down to 10 men to try and, keep it ticking over, because that one person in midfield literally has to do 2 or 3 jobs. So it was backs to the wall stuff, but I thought our midfield did pretty well with that, because last season we would have got absolutely steamrolled. Mo Salah 7. Thought Mo did okay, and he created the second goal. Cody Gakpo 6. He's just not in form, is he? I like Cody Gakpo. I was really happy when we signed him, but I think he will be a phenomenal player. He just hasn't started the season very well. I know he was playing in midfield the last 2 games, but he didn't look much better in centre forward either. Diaz 7. Very tough on him to be taken off because of the way we had to restructure the team because of Virgil van Dijk sending off, but he's come back into the squad like he's never left. What a phenomenal player he is. So we've obviously made a lot of substitutions, and because players got tired, so we brought on Joe Gomez. He's getting a 7. One of his better performances for Liverpool for sure. Harvey Elliott getting a 6. Going to give Jota a 6. I thought he changed our momentum when he came on. Who else? Darren Núñez then. I'm going to give him a 9. He was fantastic, if I'm being honest. And then that kid that plays in centre back. Hold on, what's his name? Quasida, or whatever his name is. I'm going to give him a 7. I can't pronounce his name, but I thought he was fantastic. He was really good in pre-season as well. He's only a young kid, but he was brought in and held his own, to be fair. So yeah, only for Darwin coming on and scoring 2 goals, it would have been predictably a 1-0 or 2-0 loss. But it wasn't, and we held on. But this team needs players so badly. I have no faith in FSG to make signings before the window closes. I know that's going to upset a few fans online, but they just don't show any signs of making it better. We keep hearing we need these players. We keep being told we're going to get these players, but other teams around us are, buying. And I just think John Henry's full of shit. I think FSG are full of shit. We heard so much about this new stand. They can't even open that on time. I just think, Liverpool has never been their priority. We're one of many sports franchises that they own. And realistically, when you own one of the biggest clubs in the world, it really needs to be your number one priority. So I'm hoping that we do get players. I want us to get players, but I have no faith that we're going to get any players. And as I've said before, I always feel that we're wasting the Jurgen years. I think we could have at least 2 more Premier Leagues and maybe 1 more or 2 more Champions Leagues if we had bought him the players we needed at the time. But yeah, we're budget FC really, done on a shoestring, and to be honest, I'm just sick of it. So we'll see what happens anyway. You never know. Perhaps they'll get us some players, but I don't think they will. I'll do a video again on Friday after the window closes to see where we're up to, but as I said, I don't feel that we're going to get anybody in. And if we do, I think it's going to be a panic buy. I think, we're probably going to get told what a great job they did of keeping Salah and Gomez rather than selling them. Stuff like that is just sickens my bollocks. It really does. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see you again for Villa. Hit the like and subscribe, and give us a comments down below if you don't agree with anything I say. There is a few that think FSG are great. If you do, make your points, and for those who agree, also make your points. All right, thanks.